Hi friends, we are about to look into the short story The Fight by Ruskin Bond, which is chapter number 6 in the It So Happened supplementary reader. Before going into the story, let's know a little about this famous author. Ruskin Bond was born in Kasauli, Himachal Pradesh in 1934. He grew up in Jamnagar, Gujarat, and then in Dehradun, and then in New Delhi and Shimla. His first novel, The Room on the Roof, which was written when he was 17, received the John Llewellyn Rice Memorial Prize in 1957. Since then, he has written over 500 short stories, essays, and novellas, including Vagrants in the Valley and A Fight of Pigeons, and more than 40 books for children. The novel The Blue Umbrella is one of his best known works. The story is about a little girl who trades her old leopard claw necklace for a pretty frilly blue umbrella. This was adapted by Vishal Bharadwaj into a Hindi film. The movie won the National Award for Best Children's Film. Several other of his works were also adapted into Bollywood films. He received the Sahitya Academy Award for English Writing in India in 1993, the Padma Shri in 1999, the Delhi government's Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012, and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. He now lives in Landur, Mussoorie with his extended family. In this story, we will get to know Ranchi and his unexpected fight with Suraj that paved way for a beautiful friendship. And in this video, we will go through a summary of the story and then look into the questions to better comprehend the story. The Fight is a story about a boy named Ranji who had just shifted to a new place. It was a hot summer day, and he was walking in the forest as usual in his western shorts and discovers a pool in the forest with clear water and smooth pebbles at the bottom. He was seeing such a clean pool for the first time, so he jumped in to swim. Next day, when he was swimming in the same pool, he noticed a boy staring at him in a quite angry way. The boy was taller and more broad in comparison. He inquired what he was doing there in his pool, and told he was a warrior. Kanchi replied that he was a fighter. Both involved in an argument, and at a point the toleration limit was crossed and the warrior slapped hard on Ranji's face. Ranji too punched him in return. Then they got involved in a full fight. They grabbed their throats, tumbled, rolled, cursed, and struggled. They fought even in the pool. It continued for a few minutes, but nobody won actually. They were exhausted and were breathing heavily. They both decided to continue the fight the next day. At that point, Ranchi went home and could not explain the bruises on his body to his mother. The next day, despite his parents' watch, he slipped out of home and went to the bazaar and had a lemonade and some jalebis. When he saw the warrior coming towards him, they both stared, scowling at each other. Then Ranji walked to the pool. That day, Ranji was tired from the last day's fight, but he found the warrior sitting on the other side of the pool, oiling his body. The warrior asked him to come to the other side and fight. Ranji retorted with the same challenge. As the warrior challenged again, Ranji accepted it and took a dive into water and reached the other side. The warrior was surprised by the way he dived. Upon reaching the other side, the warrior expressed his admiration for Ranji's diving skills. Gradually, they both indulged in a conversation, and Ranji offered him to teach diving. The warrior took a failed attempt. Again, Ranji dove and circled him inside the water. The warrior again took an attempt to swim under the water, but failed. Ranji told he could teach him if he liked. Then they both sat on the rock and introduced each other for the first time. The warrior's name was Suraj. Ranji informed Suraj that he is strong like a Pailwan. Suraj wished to become the world's champion wrestler. He told Ranji that he is strong but lean and he needs to have a good food with him and drink milk. He told if Ranji taught him swimming, he would make him a Pahilwan like himself. And then they both became friends from that day. Here ends the story about Ranji and Suraj. Now let us look into the questions. The following questions are from the supplementary reader. Question number 1. In what way is the forest pool different from the one which Ranji knew in the Rajputana desert? The pool in Rajputana desert in which Ranji used to go for swimming was muddy and sticky where buffaloes took bath and women washed clothes. Contrary to it, the pool in the forest was so clear that even the pebbles at the bottom were visible. Question number 2. The other boy asked Ranji to explain himself. What did he expect Ranji to say? He expected Ranji to say who he was and what he was doing in the pool. However, from Suraj's attitude, it is clear that he expected Ranji to be frightened or intimidated at the first instance, but Ranji did not. Was he, in your opinion, right or wrong to ask this question? It is wrong to ask a stranger right away like this in a hostile tone. Moreover, he could not claim that pond to be his own, for it is a natural resource. Question number 3. Between Ranchi and the other boy, who is trying to start a quarrel? Give a reason for your answer. The other boy was the one who tried to start the fight. When Ranchi was expecting a friendly conversation, the stranger started to announce himself as a warrior and tried to threaten Ranchi. Question number 4. Then we will have to continue the fight, said the other. So, what made him say that? After fighting for some time, both of them reached a point where neither of them could move. At that instant, the stranger again asked Ranji to stay out of the pool. When he refused, it is then he said this. Did the fight continue? If not, why not? No, the fight did not continue, for they were too tired to continue the fight, so they postponed it to the next day. What is it that Ranji finds difficult to explain at home? Ranji finds difficult to explain that the bruises and scratches in his body that was caused by the fight. Ranji sees his adversary in the bazaar. What does he wish to do? He wished to do two things: to turn away without looking at him, or to throw the lemonade bottle at him that he had in his hand. What does he actually do and why? Instead of doing either of his wishes, Ranchi just scowled violently at his adversary. Ranchi is not at all eager for a second fight. Why does he go back to the pool then? Though he was tired and not at all willing for a second fight, Ranchi went to the pool, for if he did not go, it would mean his defeat for eternity. So he went anyway and hoping for the opponent not to come. Who was the better swimmer? How do you know it? Ranchi was the better swimmer. It is evident from the fact that Suraj is awestruck on watching Ranchi's supple movements. What surprises the warrior? Ranchi's effortless dive and swim surprised Suraj the warrior. Now that they are at the pool, why don't they continue the fight? Because they had become friends on the mutual agreement of teaching each other. Ranchi's superiority over the other boy is obvious in the following. Underline the relevant phrases. The relevant phrases are good diving, swimming underwater, and willingness to help. What, according to you, makes the two adversaries turn into good friends in a matter of minutes? Explain it as you have understood it. The two boys became friends once they started admiring each other for their skills. Both realized that instead of quarreling over, they could mutually benefit from each other. This realization made them forget the events of the previous day and become friends. I hope that the questions explained above help you comprehend the story more clearly. These are few questions that are worth spending your time discussing. Hope you have a healthy and enlightening discussions. Thank you.